Good morning, video games. Welcome to Filthy Casuals, a podcast about video games hosted by two very kind and extremely knowledgeable boys. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tommy Daslow, and joining me, as ever...
As ever.
Yeah.
It's Ben Vanel here. We are racing towards the end of the year. It's an exciting time in doing podcasts.
It is.
We, very, very
Because
shortly.
we're about to not have to do them for a bit.
Yeah, we're going to have a break. Gotta stop putting up this facade.
It's a weird one every year where it's not really a break, because to get to the break, it's not a break for the listeners. We have a break, but in order to get that break, we have to do a couple of days of hours and hours and hours of recording.
Yes. We're going to have to do a couple of fucking real long haul drives.
A couple of sessions.
Yeah.
But then we can treat ourselves to a little knockoff drink.
Yes.
Our Filthy Casuals Christmas party.
Yeah.
Of two people.
Yeah, we did that last year. We've done it a few years, just the two of us.
We did it last year, and we ran into Tony Martin, who was out for a boozy Christmas lunch with Sam Pang, Lawrence Mooney, Angus Sampson, a big bunch of those guys.
Yes.
And Tony kind of pivoted away from the group to sit with us and talk about The Sopranos.
Yes, it was fantastic. We were kind of doing it to sort of like plan the next year ahead. You know, we have to pivot. We've changed the number of hosts.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about what we're gonna do for the patrons, and then literally 60 minutes of Tony Martin talking about how great The Sopranos is.
Yeah, it was great. I should send him a message and be like, hey, just out of interest, you guys planning another one of those just so we can coordinate our end of year around them?
Well, we can just invite him to the Christmas party.
We could.
Yeah. We'll just say that, like, look, we're having a bit of a Christmas party for the podcast. We'd love to have you down there. Don't mention that it's only the two of us.
Yes. We should, it's too late to plan this now, but we should maybe for 2026, we should have some kind of end of year Filthy Casuals Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe with some patrons or something.
Yeah.
We could play some games somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get that off the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not too late. Who knows?
I don't know. Let us know
We'll see.
If you listen to this actually when it comes out as well.
We are running out of days.
Yeah.
Is the main thing.
But let us know if you do it next year. We can do a little live show and a little afterwards Christmas party.
Yeah.
Barreling towards the end of the year where we get to not only have a break, but look back over the past 12 months, count down some of the most exciting games of the year.
I feel like this happens once in a rare while. I feel like there's always at least... There's like a fairly significant game that'll be mid-December / end of December that kind of misses the actual Game Awards as they become more and more of a thing. And in terms of us talking about the end of the year does mean that we are cramming in, enough of this game to be able to make an assessment of whether we think it is one of the best of the year. But it does always feel like it's maybe got a bit too much new car smell on it that doesn't necessarily have the staying power. I'm trying to think of, this could be its own like countdown list, the best games that have come out in December.
Yeah.
I've only heard good things about Indiana Jones, but it really does feel like it coming out at the very end of the year. I guess it got that like second wind when it came out on PlayStation, it really felt like that game, if it had have come out at some other time, might have gotten a bit more of a launch to it. Like,
if it was like a September.
Completely passed me by. I was like, I can't be bothered starting this at this point of the year.
No, I feel like, and also for games journalists, people who need to talk about them every week on a podcast, you are probably trying to cram in a bunch of games from earlier in the year that you were already like, I didn't play enough of, or I didn't try this little indie game, where you're like, I don't have the brain space for like a 40-hour single-player action game.
Yes.
And yes, it just falls in that weird little gooch period of the year for games where I played like the first level of it and was like, this is cool, and Troy Baker does sound like Harrison Ford, and then just never went back to
I'm keen to get around to it. I feel like that's the main thing. If something comes out at that point of the year, if it's not something that you're immediately interested in and going to get day one, you sort of go, I'll leave it for a bit. And then by the time we get into the new year, then like other new stuff is coming out and you kind of forget about it. But Metroid Prime 4 does feel like the biggest December release that we've had in a while.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it is quite strange for them to have sort of buried this in the year where they're burying it. And a lot of people online, we've been talking about this for a bit, are sort of finding it quite odd that this game is not being promoted all that much.
Yeah.
They're really not kind of pumping it as much as they do tend to with their first party things, especially for being a game that has been people have been waiting for 8 years now.
Yeah, they've dropped rather than doing, and I'm pretty sure they did not do a full direct for it at any point. They've been dropping the odd trailer. There's maybe 2 or 3 trailers for it specifically that have come out in the past month and a half. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have had it hasn't even had the same build up as Kirby Air Riders, which is the sequel to a niche cult game that didn't do well in the first place.
Yeah, which I get that maybe the thinking is it's a more mature audience. The people that are into Metroid, they know about it. They're going to get it.
Right.
Something like Kirby Air Riders, there's a lot to be said for letting parents know that it exists as a present for a younger audience. All those sorts of games probably do benefit from a bit of a, gift buying audience, whereas this game is no aunt is getting this for their nephew thinking that they might like it. You're in or you're out, and you've been tracking the game for 8 years, and so the marketing is kind of already done for you. But I think a lot of people are feeling like I think that this strategy has led to a lot of people, and also the burying of the release date of it, making people a little concerned as to, do they feel like they've got a turkey on their hands and they're just kind of trying to shuffle it under the radar? But I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm curious. I've still never played, I don't think, a Metroid Prime game with any level of sort of dedication. I think I tried the trilogy that was released on the Wii, I guess, which would have been the originals, right? Or it would have been the third one as new, and then the first
one came out on the Wii, and then I'm pretty sure they put I think they re-released 1 and 2 for the Wii.
Yeah, and so I think I just dabbled.
Yep.
But hadn't even played Super Metroid at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had my only knowledge was that guy is in Smash Bros.
Pardon me?
Genuinely, that was my vaguest understanding of what Metroid was. I'm a little in and out
too. I played all of Dread, and I loved that when that came out, and I played the remaster of Prime on the Switch. I think I played a bit of 3 on the Wii when it came out, but I'm by no means someone who's across all the lore and played all of them, but I do love the style of them, and playing the remake of Prime really did remind me just that thing of it's first-person shooter game, but it does have all the Metroid-y stuff. It is kind of such a unique flavour, and I think that, I don't know, I do wonder if it's annoying sometimes. I really respect the way that Nintendo want to keep the secrecy around how they make things, and it's so rare that they let any behind-the-scenesy kind of stuff out, or when they do, it's in a very deliberate, kind of calculated way.
Yes.
And so I don't think we will ever get this, but I would be so fascinated to read a book on the troubled development of this game and it being completely scrapped and then restarted, and I just would love to know what they were trying to do with that first version that they couldn't do, and then what they I don't know. I get that they just want the games to speak for themselves, and I do think that there are some cases where you can see too much behind the scenes stuff and it sort of takes a bit of the magic out. I totally respect that, but I think when it is an 8-year-long thing, I just would be fascinated to know. I think if this comes out and it is just really the very basic boilerplate Metroid Prime formula, that is going to speak to, they were trying to do a Breath of the Wild. They were trying to completely reinvent the wheel of this franchise, and they just ran into too many problems because they were developing it for the Switch 1 at the time, which maybe if they had have just been developing it as a Switch 2 game from the get-go, they might have had more. It's fascinating, and we'll probably never know the full story behind it.
Yeah, but I do think that, yes, like you say, if the game that is released is it's basically the first one, or the remaster, where it's it looks nicer. There's not a hell of a lot of innovative new things about it. It's just a different map.
Yep.
Then that will really fucking tickle the back of my brain of like, what the fuck was the original development process going for?
Well, the other weird thing about it taking so long, and then it also being so long since the previous one came out, is that probably when they started developing it, they did feel like they had to do something fresh with the franchise.
Yeah.
But now it's been so long that just doing almost this like throwback where people are just like pumped to be playing one of these again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you earn the right to sort of go back around and really have it more simplified.
Yes.
Because it has been such a long time.
Yeah. Just being like, well, it runs on newer hardware, so it looks better and it runs smoother, and it's the Metroid Prime you know and love. Probably is going to win, a lot of people over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've still just never been really hooked by the concept of a first-person Metroidvania. But I'm curious. I'm definitely going to play it and, definitely going to see what it's got to offer. But I don't know if I'm skeptical because I'm not that invested, but I'm just curious. I'm curious to see how it's actually going to play.
There is a part of me that I do wish that and I get that they can't do this because they still have a huge audience of the Switch One and that they announced it for that platform originally. But I do wish that they had the shackles off and just been able to develop it as an exclusive Switch 2 game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy thing is like, I've played this game back in March.
May
at the hands-on event. So there was a build of it ready to go then, and it looked great. It felt great. It was weird then that it still didn't have a date. It didn't have a date up until like fairly recently.
Yeah.
When it sort of seemed ready to go. I would imagine maybe a lot of the delay was like getting it up to scratch on the Switch One.
Right.
Because that's gonna be, I'll be interested to see the breakdown of like where people are playing this game. I feel like if you're a real Metroid head, you probably are the sort of person that's invested in the Switch 2. Like it's kind of an older audience. It's an audience that more cares about heart performance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm in a way, like not having a deluge of marketing and stuff for it has meant that it's crept up where I woke up this morning and was like, oh fuck, it's this week that we're finally playing Metroid Prime 4. Feels crazy.
But fuck. It is potentially for non-super fans the game that falls between the cracks at the end of the year.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Which is a kind of a shame. But yeah.
Speaking of, and I don't know if this crossed your desk. I saw this a little while ago. It's very funny that it's coming out on the same day, but the Switch 2 upgrade for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which you got very burnt by getting the version for Switch 1 and running it on the Switch 2, which didn't have any bump up or anything.
No.
But that is coming out same day as Metroid Prime 4, which is
hell yeah.
funny timing.
I mean, I've got two possible chances to be delighted.
Yes.
And like everyone says that the actual good version of Racing Cross Worlds is really fun and like a good alternative. A lot of people were like, it's better than Mario Kart World. So I'm keen to actually try that out and see how it goes. But yeah, that's cool.
Can I say too, I was listening to this yesterday and because we talked about Game Awards last week and various categories and games that we felt had missed out. One thing I forgot to say, in Best Music, I think it's criminal that Blue Prince is not in there.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing soundtrack that heightened everything in that game so much.
The dynamic response of the things that you were doing really tying in. Such a key part.
And there are like musical things like that are puzzles within the game.
Yes.
And a game soundtrack that is not like any other game soundtracks that are out there.
Yeah.
I thought it's crazy that was not in the mix.
Yeah. And I saw a bit of pushback on your pro Mario Kart World stance, given that it is all old music, but fucking grow up. I'm talking to you, Tommy.
Grow up and come around to Mario Kart World.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's fair. And I did say that's... I'm sure that is the reason, but it is a weird one because it's the best...
Yeah.
I mean, mate, it is a bit of a cheat to just go, this is the best of, but hey, the Eagles, the greatest hits, still eligible to be in the charts.
That's right. Hey, the word best is in the title of best of. But yeah, Game Awards also coming up. Going to be a bumper episode next week.
Yeah, so we're at the moment for this week in terms of things to play. Like I say, we're 4 days away from Metroid Prime 4, so I was hesitant to start anything too big and juicy.
Yeah.
Also, putting a lot more time into Kirby Air Riders. Just hooked on that game.
You finished the road trip.
I finished Road Trip, and then there's like a true ending that you can get, which I'm generally not one. I'm not really ever swayed by that in games.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care, but that's often when the campaign has been longer. Like a run of Road Trip is like a couple of hours. So I was like, yeah, why not? I'll go back through this, and at the very least, I'm just going to unlock more cars and tracks and all that kind of stuff. And I will say, I highly recommend going and to get the true ending. You can do a New Game Plus where you carry over all the machines that you've unlocked.
Right.
And if you unlock all of the machines in a run of Road Trip, then you get like a whole different ending. Like the final level that you do is all completely different stuff.
Right.
And yeah, really delivers on all the weird, crazy science fiction-y stuff that the little cinematics are doing.
Right.
And it's really fun. You unlock some new vehicles that are fucking insane and so fun to ride on. And just still having such a great time going online and just trying to get through that checklist. I just love the way the checklist is done.
Yep.
Again, I'm not really one for trophies and achievements, but something about the way they're presented in this and the things that you're unlocking, it's great.
It hooks into the dopamine receptors in a really nice way. Just that thing that we occasionally talk about where yes, a game can be really good in terms of the gameplay, but those little things like the sound effects, the lighting animations, just like the things that you begin to associate with certain actions in the game where you're like, oh yeah, fucking like, ooh, banana. Like, I want to get more fucking banana gems. Like
that's what Nintendo are really good at, is that like every second feels fun.
Yes.
There's always some response to like everything that you do, even if all it is just, the feeling of getting into the little slipstream of the stars that the other racers leave behind feels great. And Mario Kart has the same effect, but I think it feels better here.
Yes.
And the little spin attack, the sucking up an enemy and then spitting them out and getting that little boost, like just the way, not just even that the systems are designed well and that it's a satisfying loop. It's just like the precise, like how it feels when you smash one of the boxes in the city trial and things fly out.
Yeah.
One thing I've been really enjoying is that I clocked that the little like events that come up in city trial where it'll be like, it'll bring up a notification saying like all the boxes are really tiny now.
Yeah.
And this little bit of music starts playing that's very Curb Your Enthusiasm adjacent.
Oh yeah.
It's that real like Larry's running around from one place to the next kind of feel to it. Yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Great game. Very fun. Interesting to note that someone in our Discord was saying that they were having a good time with it with their kids, which I kind of thought that it would be something that is so full on and freaky that it would be a little prohibitive to anyone that's a bit younger.
Yeah.
But I guess it seems on the surface like it would be easy to get into, but there's so much complexity to it.
But at least the ways to get to know how the systems work all involve pressing one button.
That's true. And it does kind of automatically steer you. Like if you hit a wall, you don't really stop. You just like ricochet off it.
Yeah.
So it's rare that you just like hit a bump and it just like, I don't think you really get destroyed in the way that you do in like a Mario Kart if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
You're like 18th and you're just like completely left behind.
Yeah, I don't think I ever fell further back than like 7th or something. It's forgiving in that way. But yeah, great game.
But what I've been trying to do, and I'm also still making my way through Yote.
Yeah, nice.
And so I didn't really want to start any big new game for this week, but I was thinking about we're coming up to the end of the year and we got that little break, and I always love to have a little game on the go in that break, and I always feel like anything that's like too good doesn't really fulfill the criteria, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like finishing off something that I was like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think it's a good time of the year for like a really solid like 7 out of 10er.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the time to get into like a Breath of the Wild or anything like that. For me personally.
Yes.
I kind of like being able to float in and out of something that I'm like enjoying that I maybe didn't get around to like earlier in the year or the year before. Like there was one year where I finished off Horizon Forbidden West, which I really liked and loved by the end of it, but I don't think that's one of the all-time greats or anything like that. There are just games that I think fit perfectly into that little space of the year.
Yeah.
And so I've been, assuming that maybe I get through Metroid Prime 4, like by the time we're in that period. I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for a game to sort of slot into that to that time frame.
Yeah, you're not having filet mignon every day for dinner during your holidays. You're having spaghetti and bolognese. So what's the spaghetti bolognese game?
Well, not that I'm trying to think when I actually played this. It wasn't, I don't think it was over the break, but something like this would fit into the criteria for me perfectly. Like an epic Mickey. Something that I played through to the end and enjoyed all the way through.
Yes.
A solid 7 out of 10er. Something that you wouldn't write, it's not doing anything. Everything that it's doing well.
Yeah.
It's not doing it the best. Everything kind of comes together nicely, but it's like fairly low investment. And so fortunately there's a few demos out that I found that I kind of have been dabbling in.
Yes.
To sort of, find something to fulfill this criteria over the break.
Little demo dabbling.
And so last night I played the demo of SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think has just come out, is tied into like there's a new SpongeBob movie either out now or about to come out now. And I really enjoyed this demo.
Oh, nice.
It really is epic Mickey in the sense that it's
the licensed property.
That's like, not doing anything brilliant, but is just doing it all very competently.
So action platformer kind of thing.
Action platformer. Starts with you as SpongeBob in the Krusty Krab, and the Flying Dutchman turns up. He turns you into a ghost, and you can play as SpongeBob or Patrick, and like you have these like magic rings that can switch which one of you is the ghost, which is basically a way to be able to like have you interchangeable, but then still have the other one kind of floating along talking to you.
Yep.
And you're jumping around. It's got very funny logic in it where if you fall into the water, you die. It's all water.
Yeah.
There's like water under the water that you can't go in.
That's bad water.
You're doing your double jumps, you're doing your gliding, but there's like all the little NPCs that you run past have funny little bits of dialogue, and all the characters are there. I would imagine that this game has probably, I don't know, it's funny playing something like this after still dabbling in a little bit of Pokemon Legends ZA, where this game has cutscenes that are like really nicely animated and they're all voiced.
Right. Yeah.
And there's like all this personality to it, and there's like little, you're walking past people and they're making little jokes, and Squidward's there, and
a lot of flavor.
he talks to you, and Mr. Krabs is there and he talks to you, and I don't know why I was thinking of Pokemon specifically, but I was like, I would imagine that this game has more of a budget than Pokemon ZA. It feels like it has more of a budget.
Well, we know that budget was tiny for Pokemon,
And I'm sure, SpongeBob's a massive property. I'm sure this game would sell well, but not to the level of a Pokemon. You know what I mean? It's like, for this being a I don't know, fairly disposable licensed game that's probably not really going to be thought about 5-10 years down the track, to feel like it's had a lot more care put into it in this area, feels just bizarre.
Yeah. But also, that's the thing with licensed games, is that there is a reputation attached to that license that you have to uphold.
And that's what, if you're making a SpongeBob game and he's not talking and these things aren't happening, then like why are you making it? That's what people want.
Yes.
So
just make it a grey ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've been loving about this game is that when SpongeBob gets hit, he goes, "No, thank you."
Oh, that's good.
I opened a packet of Krabby Patties and they were all dead.
Oh, wow.
So that's really enjoyable.
Where'd you play this demo?
On the Switch 2.
Nice. All right, I might give it a poke myself.
Yeah, it makes you sort of play it and you're like, if I had never seen the show, you could convince me that this just exists as a video game series.
Yeah, right.
Everything about the SpongeBob universe and just him as a character,
right?
This little fucking square running around on the screen, really does lend itself to like sort of perfect video game iconography, and everything that happens in the show is so like dumb and heightened that like you can. There's that game that they remastered recently. I think it's like Battle for Bikini Bottom or recently that has this like huge online cult following.
Right.
I think it might be a GameCube game or something. But yeah, you can, it's like such a nice world. You can sort of do so many different things with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that weird 90s license game thing where it's like Tim the Toolman Taylor is running around a house and all the tools have come to life and are trying to kill him. It's like you can just do anything in SpongeBob's world and it still tracks as like, this is not a million miles away from what would happen in the cartoon.
Right. It's very Simpsons Hit and Run where it's like, you can basically come up with an excuse for you to do anything in Springfield.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to give that a little try myself. What else have you been dipping in on and dabbling?
There's also a demo, which I did not know about until I was just perusing through. I actually went onto the store to maybe buy or to just see if it was like on sale, what the price was for it. But there's a demo for your mate, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, right.
On Switch 2. So I thought I'd give this a little run.
Right. Okay.
And it's really fun.
Yeah, it is, right?
I think this might be the prime candidate so far. This is like everything that I'm talking about. An open world, easily digestible, nothing too complex to have to fucking learn or get your head around.
You really can zone out if you want to. You can jump on your little speeder bike and just ride around the desert. Real polished interface. Looks great. Beautiful music.
Yeah, that's the main thing that I've been really finding about it is just it's not even, I haven't even played any bits that have like the Star Wars music in it yet, but just that style of orchestration that they have in all of them that they've kind of kept. They've not really ever felt like they need to mix it up or anything. That just goes such a long way to really painting it with a Star Wars flavor and giving it such a personality and just making it feel different to the types of music that you hear in video games. Yeah, they're like the flutes. Like it's very evocative. It is our great former co-host Adam Knox always said it was the reason people like Star Wars movies. I was thinking about that a lot and I was like, he's right, because even like as an open world game, it's like, oh yeah, you're in a desert, you're riding over here, I'll go find this guy, oh, it turns out he's actually over here. Like, there's some guys that didn't want me to be there and I got to fight them. Yeah, and you just sort of go, oh, this is, and it's, it's very, I guess, like sci-fi boilerplate stuff because it invented like those tropes that are now, I don't know, you go back to sort of the original flavor of it and it's, you sort of forget like, oh no, this isn't aping the thing. This is like an extension of the actual thing. Yeah. But just that music comes in and it makes it feel like something completely unique and you have that attachment to it from when you're a kid. And I've never been like a gigantic Star Wars fan, but it still does stir something up in me. It really elevates this game. And a lot has been said online about this port of it specifically, and it's good. It runs really well on the Switch too. There's a couple of little downgrades. I feel like weirdly in the cutscenes, it looks... There's like some shadow stuff that's a little blurry in bits, and like the texture of her hair is a little strange. But that said, I think it even was a bit strange in like the PS5 version. There was weirdly like environmentally it was gorgeous. Yeah. But then there was something off about a lot of that stuff where it was like, isn't this like a brand new game? I went and watched some side-by-side stuff, and I think they've continued to update the Switch 2 version since it came out and keep sort of refining it and improving it, which I don't know if they've done to the demo. So I think maybe the full version of it is like an even more polished experience now. But I've read a lot online about people being like really impressed with it as a port, and it definitely does seem like a game that is that's, I know it's not like graphically the best place to play it, but I'm going away for a week after Christmas and kind of think like, yeah, maybe this is the one I'll get. Like, nice little nice little chew away at some Star Wars in the evening.
Yeah,
and,
nice.
I love that main character. I think she's like got a lot of personality, a little more interesting than what I consider to be my experience of like the main characters in Star Wars media.
Yeah.
The newer ones, I mean, tend to be a little samey and a little like, I like your little fucking dog thing you've got running around with you.
Yep.
Your little robot guy that's in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It drops you in. I don't think it's the very beginning of the game. You're on Tatooine going to find that guy Hoss.
Oh, Hoss. It's pretty close to the start, I think. But you might have skipped some of the actual
I think it just doesn't
stuff.
because it literally just like it. The demo opens and you're flying to this planet, so there's no preamble. There's no cutscene or anything.
Right.
And it doesn't carry over, so it gives you. It's like a timed thing where it gives you 3 hours, but you do the mission where you go and find him, and then once you've found him, he's like, "Oh, meet me back at Mos Eisley, and then we'll get out of here." And it basically says you're free to keep fucking around on Tatooine. Go and do some side quests if you want. You can go and I think there's like some gambling that you can do in the cantina, but you can't. Like, it's not a 3-hour thing where you can just like then keep going into the game. So it really is just like, here's a little slice to give you a little taste. And I thought it was a really fun game that felt like, as you talked about at the time, combination of people being a bit sick of the Ubisoft open world kind of formula, also coming along at a time right off the back of there being 2 other sort of different format of Star Wars games that people really liked. Maybe a bit of like overkill. It didn't have the weight of like, oh cool, a good Star Wars game. Yeah,
and people being both sick generally of Star Wars.
Yes.
And then being like, okay, well, if I've got one room in my brain for one Star Wars game, it's the Jedi Fallen Order one.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. It has that sort of what would you call it? There's no edges on it, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that's going to be too annoying. There's nothing that's going to be too complicated. It's a real easy to digest experience.
And I got to say though, I do like the open world fatigue that people get. I don't play the Assassin's Creeds. I don't really go in on any of the Ubisoft open worlds, but I did really feel like, having been playing a lot of Ghost of Yotei, which I think is like, I mean, again, for me, I'm coming to it without having the open world fatigue. And I do think that is like, for me, such an interesting version of it, story-wise, setting-wise, mechanically, and things that you're doing. And then going to something like this that, yes, has like a great Star Wars flavor to it, but just like mechanically and the things that you're doing, you do really notice like, this is a little step down.
Right.
Like this is the real comfort food version of it, where I would consider Yotei to be the step above that. That's like not doing, everything works really well. It's not like a revolutionary, but it's doing everything to like such a high standard.
Yeah.
And not that Outlaws isn't, but you do notice it being a bit more of the
old formula.
Oh yeah, you just duck here and you're shooting, and you don't have that like interesting combat mechanic that you do in Yotei.
Yep.
But good game, and I think so far that's my front runner.
Right.
I think also it is interesting seeing this get a bit of a second wind, as you say too. Like, I think Andor being out and people really loving that second season, and then at the timing that it came out on the Switch too, and people may be looking for more exclusive games to play on that really take advantage of the hardware. So sometimes like the bit of the delay in the port can kind of like help it, because when it came out first time around, it was maybe not the best time, and people rediscovering it now through the port and being a bit more back in, and there being a bit more space from Jedi Fallen Order.
Well, the only other one I was going to suggest maybe, and it is a game that I probably should give the time it deserves, but Monster Hunter Wilds fully dropped off my radar, despite really enjoying what I played of it. And I'm pretty sure it was the same for you. It was like fun while we were playing it, but early in the year, rapidly moved on to other stuff. But because it is not super different from the previous ones, I feel like it slots into that, like, it's not going to be too, complex or mentally challenging to just slide back into it.
Yep.
But it does have that repetitive gameplay, and you can just fucking sit on the couch, hammer away for like a few hours.
Yep.
But yeah, that's probably one for me that I might have a little crack of over the break.
I'd be interested to hear from people. I think for me, the sweet spot is a very competent open world game or a silly, maybe licensed 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Those are the sweet spot for me of like that time of year of just complete relaxation.
Yes, not a complex indie puzzle game where you need to fucking have the brain fully dialed up to 11. Well, another kind of game that exists that I might also be spending a bit of a few hours on over the break is a big open world, not I guess what would you call it? Chinese mythology. Martial
Did not
arts.
predict where that was going to go. What would you call it? Chinese.
What's the
word I'm
politically
looking for?
correct way to say this?
What's that word I'm looking for that's like most of the planet?
But like sort of, Asian-influenced martial arts combat game.
Yep.
Of which there have been many over the past 4 or 5 years. Oh, yes. But this is one that I think was recommended to me in the Discord by a listener, by a patron, a wonderful patron. And it was a game that I think I'd basically heard the title and knew nothing about. Because I think a lot of the marketing, or at least a lot of the perception of the game, was that it was a MMORPG, which is not something I generally really pay a lot of attention to. But it's called Where Winds Meet. It is set in, I guess, a like semi-mythical version of feudal China, sort of like it does say at the start, like it's the year 900 AD, or it doesn't say AD, it says CE, because that's, we're atheists.
Chinese.
Chinese era. But yeah, common era. So it's sort of meant to be set in, like early feudal China. And then I did a bit of, research on this because they say it's set in this region called, I think, Jinghua or Jinghe. I can't remember. And it's sort of like in literature about sort of like heroes and villains and like wandering swordsmen of this era of China. That region is kind of like, it's kind of shorthand for like, it's not real, but it's where all the stories are set, which is kind of an interesting thing where they've gone, this is where our game is. It's in this sort of mystical, semi-real kind of world in the ancient past. But there's, I think, a little bit of actual sort of like supernatural stuff and weird abilities. But the game itself can be played more like a Dark Souls, where it's a full single-player campaign. Don't have to interact with anyone at all whatsoever.
Great.
Full stop. 10 out of 10 game of the year. But you'll kind of walk over an area and there'll be like a little floating, icon that's like, if you interact with it, it's like, all of these people did this challenge here and these are all their scores. Or like, these people died to this boss over here and this is how long they lasted. Like, all of that exists if you want to interact with it. And then I think it also has, when you're going up against the hard bosses, you can call on someone to kind of help out, which, is like exactly how the FromSoft games work. It's not true multiplayer, but I believe you also can play it as like a fully online co-op game.
Right.
So I think a lot of people have categorized it as like an MMORPG, but it kind of sits somewhere between that and like the way FromSoft kind of does their social interaction stuff.
I got kind of hooked in, tricked in by seeing one of those things come up on Threads that was like a screenshot of this game talking about how beautiful it is.
Right.
But doing that thing where they don't say what the title is. And you have to click the post and then you're just waiting for that comment that's like, what game is this?
Yeah.
And then someone replies and it's like, God fucking damn it.
It's engagement bait.
But I do feel like we keep across so many things that are coming out that when you see a screenshot of something that looks beautiful and you're like, I literally have no idea what this game is.
Yeah.
It's always like, these ones really tend to sort of sneak under the radar a little bit.
Yeah. But it's like very, very popular. It has millions and millions of players. It had like 250,000 concurrent on Steam. It's got, like over 9 million players, I think, in China alone.
Right.
But the game, it is, like I said, it has that setting. You are playing the hero of the game. It has this fucking cool thing at the start where it has sort of like an intro sequence, a little bit on rails, where you're learning the combat, and then you get a bit of story stuff where like you're the guy holding like the jade pendant and people are coming to get it from you, and you've got a little baby who you're carrying around in a little thing, and I was like, oh, Death Stranding, real Death Stranding vibes. And then like some other like fellow hero turns up and you battle against some like bad guys, and you have a little boss fight where it's not very hard at all, but you're learning like your cooldown abilities, very Ghost of Yotei-esque. And it's basic like dodge, jump, block. And then you've got like swords, spears, whole bunch of weapons, bows and arrows, all that shit. And you go through that little opening segment, and then you get a character creation screen or a character customization screen. And one of the ways you can generate a character kind of automatically, randomizing all well, not randomizing, but automatically using all their little different settings and stuff, is you can submit a voice recording. And based on the tone of your voice, it generates a character for you.
That's very cool.
It was so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
I loved it. It should be in every role-playing game. Yeah. It is such a cool thing. And so I did it. I just did like, like, hello, this is what my voice sounds like. I hope this voice recording thing works. And then it goes like, it goes through the waveform, and it's like, picks out all these voice characteristics. And
wow.
And so mine, it was like strong, bold.
I would be way too scared to do this, by the way.
Well,
to see what it spits out.
When I showed Bridget, she was like, you have to get Tommy to do this. But yeah, like, so it gave me like this.
I don't think I'd ever be able to move on from this screen. Just going, the fish. Not enough tartar sauce. Do your worst where winds meet.
Oh, fuck. And so, it gave me like this character kind of like archetype where it also gave me like the visuals, but it gave me like the character background, like the play style almost. And it generates this character for you from all the different options, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll just use that. I'm not going to fuck around with making the, eyes a different color.
100%.
And so that was awesome. And then you jump into the actual game, and it's just a big, beautiful open world. Had a lot of Black Myth Wukong sort of vibes. Yep. That sort of like, dense forest, big open plains, beautiful sunsets, all that kind of like Chinese sort of the different trees, the different kind of grassland, the temples, the shrines, all of that stuff. It like looks really, really nice. And then you kind of start this. It's interesting because it's like it is a very like directed storyline where it's giving you all these quest markers at the start to kind of introduce you to mostly like the sub quests and the ways to interact with the world that are very gamey.
Yep.
And they're very like, there's a marker on that person's head. It says he's 49 meters away. Go over there. At the same time, there's all these other markers on your like kind of compass thing, and there's all these, you're picking up all these materials all the time. And I was a little concerned that it did feel very MMORPG, where it's like, there's 70 different things you can pick up and craft into other things and trade, and different currencies and different kind of status effects and all these like very overwhelming things it throws at you. But by all reports, it's doing that to let you know that, hey, you can kind of do anything in this big open world. Like it's meant to be more of a simulation of being this character and like sinking into this big interactive world, rather than something that is really just a single player linear storyline with an open world like a Ghost of Yotai, where it's like, you know, these are the mechanics, these are the bad guys, these are the people you need to meet, go right over here.
Yep.
And I think it also has a bit of the sort of what I feel is kind of the cheap MMORPG kind of interface look.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's just square boxes of white text, you know, like it's... And maybe, I don't know why that is. It could be because they are constantly like updating stuff, and also because it's... People have to interact with each other, so everything has to be readable and clear and all of that stuff.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel like a premium experience. Now, it is a free game.
Yes.
And there is monetization that does not affect sort of your... It's not pay to win.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cosmetic, as far as I can tell. But yeah, there's a lot of it that there's not a lot of polish in some places, which I think is okay, because you can also play it with like minimal HUD and single player only, and you're just walking around this beautiful world. Mm-hmm. It feels a little bit kind of floaty to control, which I think you can probably tweak. And I did that in a game recently. I think it might have been Yote, where I kind of slowed down a lot of the like camera response, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
To make it feel a bit chunkier.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool. It's a game that it seems like if you like it, you can play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Mm-hmm. If you want, you can interact with other people and form little like raiding parties and take on bosses together. The English voice acting is awful, but you can switch it to Chinese with subtitles,
Great.
Of which I did immediately. Yeah, I'm curious to play this one more. I think it has a lot of potential with a few rough edges. One of the funniest things about it, though, is that a lot of these subquest people, they have generative AI personalities where you can talk to them, like you can type out stuff. And apparently people have just been like gaming the system and trying to like figure out ways to basically like logic trick them into just like giving you the reward for the quest, or telling you this answer that's meant to be hidden, or like apparently you can like just keep talking to them and kind of manipulate them into thinking like, A, they have a child that they didn't, and B, the child just overdosed and died, and they're like, oh my God,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I actually love that as a concept of a game.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not the main thing by any means, and it, you know, a lot of people have criticized it because it's like, so you're not actually writing dialogue, you know, you're not crafting these subquests to be interesting and original and unique, and so often the subquests can be where all the personality of a game really lies. But instead, they've done this thing that's kind of bizarre. Yeah. And I haven't done it yet. I haven't interacted with it, but like it invites fucking around. And in that way, I think it's kind of cool.
The potential of that to be kind of its own, fun thing that is, as long as you know that that's what it is.
Right.
Is going to be, that's using it in a unique way.
Yeah.
That is something that if you've got this like endless sort of stream in there, that's going to be something that a developer could not do.
You'd have to have people like employees
round the clock.
Like actually responding to people. Where it's like, that's not possible. And there's no indication at all that they used AI to write the scripted dialogue or anything else in the game. And it's pretty clearly, I think, called out and openly like this weird little thing. It's just a chatbot. It's like you're talking to a chatbot for a telecommunications company. You know, we've just plugged in a bunch of, you know, programming and lines and stuff. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. So, interesting game. It has a little bit of the like, you've just kind of taken the combat from a million other similar games. Yes. But pretty cool window dressing. Yeah. And you get to talk to AI and make it think that it had family members who died. Or apparently you can do that as well. Hell yes. Where Winds Meet, interesting game. Keen to hear more of our listeners who've played it. Like, does it actually fulfill that promise of being this big, open, interesting world that is fully interactive, or does it feel a bit shallow? But something I might actually dip in on over the break.
Cool. Have you dabbled in anything else this week?
Have I dabbled? Not really. I've spent another probably combined 160 hours on Godot 4.5 making this game.
Yes.
Which has been very enjoyable as well. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I played a bit more Kirby Air Riders, which, like you say, is fucking just so much fun. Such a little bite-sized energy hit every race. But
it's funny that he said that there'll be no DLC for this. He's like, we put everything into the game. And I love the idea that people now expect he's done this. They want him to make another Smash Brothers. He's done this. He's basically been able to say to him, I'll do it, but I want to do this
one for me,
project
one for you
first. It would be great if he didn't. Instead was like, oh, you know what would be great? Before I do Smash Brothers, make another Kid Icarus Uprising or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird one. I don't really know what he can do with Smash Brothers from here.
Right?
I think it'd need to be some massive shake-up. People have said the main thing would be like a lot of the characters that are in there have not really had their movesets changed in such a long time, and that now, like even Donkey Kong, for example, would need a different design. And
sure.
There's all these different attacks that he has in the new game and all the stuff like the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom stuff is not really reflected in Link's moveset and things like that. But those seem so minor that I really don't know what you do from here. And in fact, I know he's like the guy and so much of it is great because of him, but I don't know. I think it would be a cool time to just give it over to someone else.
Just upgrade the performance, optimize it for Switch 2. You know, a few tweaks to the graphics.
That's the thing.
Update some of the characters, and he doesn't have to do that.
That's the thing is that Ultimate has every character in it. It runs great if you bumped up the resolution a little bit,
right?
But it doesn't really need too much done to it, and you can get it on Switch. So there's so many games like that are now available on the Switch too, where to justify having a new version of it, you need to be doing something that's so different to what the previous one was.
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what he. I don't know. As much as the Smash games are great and they're great because of him, I just like when he does other stuff, and he hasn't done that much other stuff since he started working on Smash.
No, I completely agree.
Kid Icarus is great. I think a little hamstrung by the control scheme of being on the 3DS. I'd love to see him let loose with some other more different stuff. I played a little bit of the demo of Octopath Traveler 0, which comes out this Thursday, and I kind of figured this might be one that I get to later, but I'm not sure. And it's good. It's more Octopath. It's the same sort of thing. It doesn't have the thing that the others had where you're picking one of the 8 stories to begin with.
Yeah, right.
You kind of choose you sort of build a character that's you pick your favorite food and whether you'd prefer to have fighting as your main thing or whatever. But it's not oh, you're the thief or you're the, dancer or whatever. It does feel a little more like it funnels you into a beginning section a little more,
right?
In a little more prescriptive way,
right?
But yeah, the combat, I really like the turn-based combat in those games. The break system and the using the weaknesses and all that kind of stuff. It's been a while since I played an Octopath game, and just immediately, even in the trial, the first little bit of combat you do, I was like, oh, that's right. This feels fucking great. Having the break attacks and all that kind of stuff. It is such a nice little system, and that HD 2D stuff does look great. Again, there's so many Square Enix HD 2D games coming out in the next little while. They've just done the Dragon Quest 1 and 2. There's that, what is it? The Adventures of Elliot?
Yes. Yes.
Which I loved. That's probably the one I'm more interested in than this. More excited for that than more Octopath because it's a little bit of a known quantity. And I never finished the others. So I'm certainly not someone who's fanging for a fresh dose of Octopath. But this does look like a good version of it. Does feel maybe coming out at not the best time.
Right.
Same day as Metroid, right at the end of the year. but we'll see. But yeah,
I feel like that similar to Metroid, the fan base of that is either going to get it or they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's I don't feel like it's hugely conflicting with anything else other than potentially another HD 2D game.
I think that's it. It's for the people that went through those other two and are just hungry for more. It does seem like a good version of it, and Square Enix know what they're doing.
Yeah. I also do intend to finish the Seance of Blake Manor, which I can't believe didn't call the Seance of Bloke Manor last week when I talked about it. Oh, yeah. Because that would be a really good game.
The Gideons of Bloke Manor.
But that's me for this week.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
That's the episode.
Well, guys, if you want to support the show, get onto Patreon. We do an extra hour of content every week. So if you're looking to, if you're not on there and you're looking for a bunch of stuff to listen to over the Christmas and New Year's break, you got a big drive coming up or something, then that is the place to go, because there are hundreds of hours of extra stuff on there for you. We're recapping Pluribus every week at the moment, little spoiler section, in addition to just all the movies and other stuff that we watch and consume in the week.
Yeah, monthly special zone episodes as well. There, like you say, there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of available audio and visual media.
So get on there. Support the show. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you next time. And as we say here, at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals, I am looking forward to playing Metroid Prime 4 featuring that hot bloke Samus.